Hi everyone! So, part 2 out of a 3-part series of pulling together Cruella De Vil last minute. The last video we did a 20-minute challenge seeing if I could get my face done on time. Kinda made it, kinda didn't. Third part is doing the wig and taking a really cheap one and how to style it. But this one is about doing a last minute costume. So as you can see, I am wearing a little black dress inspired by the Disney movie. In the book, she actually wears a emerald green satin dress and she wears like a string of rubies. So you can pick and choose what you're actually wearing. The one consistent thing though between the book and the movie is that she wears a fur coat. Now I thought this was going to be really straightforward. I went to the op shop. I went to 4 different op shops, could not find a single faux fur coat anywhere. So I was like, well, this is like a big part of doing Cruella De Vil. You need the fur coat. So I decided, what if we try something different? So you've got 2 last minute options. I would say if you can't find a faux fur coat, you are going to either want to find a micro plush house coat, those really big fluffy things. Take off the sash. If you have time, undo the pockets and add some faux fur trim. And if you can do it in white, I think you've got an option there. Haven't tried it myself, but I'm thinking in my head that would be my choice. The other thing though is taking a faux fur blanket and turning it into a coat. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I have got, my cats are eyeing this up because this is actually their cuddle blanket. It's a spotted blanket, very nice and faux furry. And we are going to pull that together and pin it so it looks less like a blanket and more like Cruella's coat. All right, so I'm just gonna pull this back. You're gonna have to ignore the mess because everything is just chaos, and isn't that always the case? So, fur coat. Got a good size blanket. There are a few options. I did see one at Kmart. It was about 12 bucks. It was in a dark gray. I also saw a white one at Things, and if I'm mentioning all these names and they don't ring a bell, it means that you weren't in Australia. So I'm sure you guys have lots of other options in the States and Canada, but this is what I'm going to work with. So your printed side, you are going to want on the outside. What we're going to do is take this, we're going to flip it around. And what I'm going to do is take these 2 edges and pin them around, because it's going to mean that you can have your arms free. Just to make it easier right now while I'm pinning, I'm just going to take a hair lacquey and just pin those, tie those together. To do this properly, you are going to want lots of safety pins though. You're going to want the big safety pins just so they hold, because they are not going to just snap out. So I'm just going to pin that in place. I mean, you can actually keep the hair lacquey in place if you need be. So that's creating like a collar. Now the problem is that you can't just go out with this, because from the back, it really does look like you're just wearing a blanket around your shoulders. So what we're wanting to do is pin all this up and pull it up so it's got movement. Yes, it is going to be a short coat, but it's going to at least look like a coat, just like that. So we're going to grab some more pins. Again, big safety ones. I'm going to say you're going to take it about there, and you're going to want to pin that up to that little part here. So I'm actually going to put it on the inside there. That's going to hold. Pin that in place. Now, unfortunately, you still have all of this, and that all needs to be tucked up, because then, as you can see, it's got all that nice movement behind it. That I'm going to have to pin from the inside and through both layers. So kind of figure out where that needs to pull from. For me, I'd say that's about there. I'm just going to grab it from the inside. So I've got all of that pulled up right in through here. Of course, it would be a whole lot easier if you have someone else helping you with this. Pin it to that pin. So you can see that pulls it up nicely. It creates a sleeve. And then I'm just going to grab a smaller pin just to actually just grab that little fur section. And it's going to hide all your pins that are hanging there. Just like that. So at least it looks like a sleeve. It looks neat enough from the front. And you've got Cruella. So we're just going to do this other side. And there we go. If I hadn't sped that part up, this would have been just under 10 minutes to make this coat. So with a little bit of pinning and a faux fur blanket, it's completely doable to make a Cruella De Vil costume last minute. So you guys are on to your third and final video. It is how to make a super cheap dollar store Cruella De Vil wig look a little bit more stylized. So with that, you are going to want to click this link and watch the third and final video. Keep going.